Hey everybody, welcome to Joe for the Joe Wentz Project here on the Joe Wentz Project TV YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. And my co-host Jim Guidry from Shreveport, Louisiana. Jim, how are you, man? How are you doing?
Doing fine. Thanks, Joe, for
Thank you.
having me on. Yeah.
Hey man, thank you for being here. And we're very excited to have good friend Mr. Larry Mitchell on the show tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell, for being here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
And I'd like to give a big shout out to Miss Lynn for helping this be possible. So thank you, Miss Lynn, very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Miss Lynn.
Yes, thank you
Lynn.
so much for helping. Miss Lynn's a really nice person, and I really appreciate it. And let me see if we can get the chat going here. Get all this in case people have any questions. And so we have a couple of questions too, Larry, if it's okay. If we can ask you a few questions, we'd like to ask you.
How do I find you? I was going to post a link real quick on my Facebook page.
Please,
let everybody know.
Yes, please do. Please do. Yes.
So where do I find the link?
If you go down to the bottom right-hand side, you should see a thing that says links, possibly. If you don't see that,
I'm sorry.
See it down there in the bottom right-hand side? Oh, she did. Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. There we go.
Lynn's on the ball.
She's got you covered, man. Miss Lynn's got you covered. And well, we got. Let's check the chat box real quick. We got Center is in the house. Thank you, Center. Steve Anderson is in the house, and he's right on time too. Steve Anderson, Big Dan Hall, the accountant, is here. Adam EVH, our other host on the show, is in there as well. Steve Anderson, Center, and Miss Lynn is in the chat as well. There she is, Miss Lynn. Hey, Miss Lynn, how are you? Fantastic. Fantastic.
So what were you going to ask me?
I was wanting to know, I know you get asked these typical questions all the time. I'm going to start with that, and then I'll just kind of go on a different path. When did you get your first guitar, and what got you into guitar?
I got my first guitar. I got a toy guitar, I think around 2, 3. And then I got my first real acoustic guitar at 9. Mm-hmm. And electric guitars a few years after that. My mom said I used to strum the broom when Elvis would come on. So that was probably the beginning for me.
Right.
Yeah, I just music. I don't remember a time without it, though, without music.
Right. That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. So do you remember like your first gig? Do you remember doing that? How old were you when you did that? You remember your first gig, you know? Do you remember the first song you played?
No,
stuff like
that. The real first gig, but I remember that this guy on the block, Mark Brown, showed me how to play one song. And it was difficult because he's left-handed. And for a minute, I tried to play left-handed because I wrote left-handed. And then in school, they would smack your hand if you wrote left-handed. So
wow. You had to learn right-handed. Wow.
So I wrote right-handed in school and left-handed at home. And some things I did left-handed, some things I did right-handed. And I remember he was playing at a block party and kind of handed me his guitar to play along a little bit. I'm pretty sure it was horrible, but for me, the energy was amazing.
Right. That is so cool. That is so cool, man. You know, I write left-handed as well, and it's kind of wild because I remember hearing stories of that from other people that's how it used to be back then. If they wanted you to write with a certain hand, I was like, wow, that's crazy how things were like that, you know? It's really, it's something else. Your first electric guitar, do you remember what that was?
Say it again?
Your first electric guitar, do you remember what that was? Was it off-brand? Was it like a Fender? Was it a Gibson? What was it?
It was a Telstar from Sears.
Okay, cool. Yep, I've been down that road too.
Was years later. It was an Ibanez Les Paul copy from 1976. I still have it.
Oh wow, you still have that? Wow, that is amazing, man. That is cool, man. What about your first band? When was that?
In junior high school, I got together with this drummer, Ike Carter, and we won a battle. Excuse me, a battle of the bands, just playing the two of us, a drummer and me. And some of the things I was playing were kind of bass lines, and I didn't really know the difference between electric guitar, guitar parts and bass parts.
Mm-hmm.
And some were like one finger chords, and we won. It was kind of fun,
That's cool, man.
And then like other guys, and then after high school, playing bands that doing all kinds of cover tunes. I filled in, replaced this guitar player for these high school guys that were all about rock. It was the guys that I went to see Van Halen for the first time in high school. And,
okay.
Left, and I filled in. And then I was in a Rush cover band for years. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, wow. Oh, no, Larry, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask you, what tour was that of Van Halen that you seen the first time you seen?
It was 79, so...
Okay.
That's the same one you went to, wasn't it, Jim? Wasn't it the same one you went to as well?
I've seen the 1980
okay.
tour.
Wait, so it was I think it was their first headline tour. Was it Women and Children First? First headline tour? Was that?
I couldn't tell you, to be totally honest with you.
I think the Women and Children First, yes. I think it was in 1980. And the Cradle were robbed, I think, once,
They were headlining. They weren't opening. So I remember that. Yeah.
That's cool. Wow, that's cool.
But I was blown away. I was like, oh, yeah, this is what I wanted.
Yeah. Wow. So what was your first professional gig? What was that? I mean, when was that? How did that feel for you?
Define professional, because I was doing gigs where you got paid.
Okay. I guess like, playing like some pretty good sized venues and stuff like that, I guess.
Well, the first big tour I did was Miguel Bosé. He was extremely big Italian, Spanish pop star. In Italy, he was TV star, like a soap star.
Oh, okay.
Was a model, and his dad was a Spanish bullfighter. And when we got the shows in Italy were probably about 10,000, maybe 15,000 people.
God.
But when we got the average crowd was 20,000.
Wow.
Gosh.
He was huge in Spain.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, how long did you do that for? How long did that last?
That was 6 months, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was about 6 months, maybe a little bit more, a little over 6 months. Our biggest show was in Seville, which was 90,000 people.
Good Lord.
Wow.
What's it like to stand on a stage in front of 90,000 people?
The music has to be so loud so that, because when the people are clapping in the back, they're out of time with where you are.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So the stage monitors were pretty loud. Nowadays, people use in-ear monitors, and it doesn't matter.
Right. Right. That is something else. Wow. That's wild. Now, you also worked with Billy Squier, is that correct?
After that tour in 1990, after my first record came out, in 91, I played with Billy Squier. I had auditioned for Billy in 89 and got along great, hung out with the guys, but they ended up going with Jimmy Crespo on that tour. Who filled in on, in Aerosmith for a little bit. And then I ran into those guys at the China Club in New York City in 91, and those guys all lived in the opposite ends of the earth as far as the tri-state area could be, and in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And so all of them in one spot was like, what's going on? So they were hanging out, they were checking out guitar players. And so I sat next to Billy, and after about halfway through the first song of watching this guitar player play, Billy just turned to me and goes, "No, you're coming out on the road with us." And I was like, "Oh, okay, but I'm doing the Rico Casket." He was like, "No, you're not." So I went on the road, and they took my friends were in a band called Maggie's Dream, and they were opening for Billy. So
that was nice.
Yeah,
That was nice.
great.
That's nice, man. That's now how long did that last with the stretch with Billy Squier? How long was that?
One tour, 6 months. It was great. Billy's
Okay.
a guitar player. Plus, I wish I was into vintage guitars because Billy had a '58 Les Paul on the road. He had a couple of '59
Oh wow.
Junior. He had a couple of '57 Gold Tops. He had and a No-Caster. He had like
Wow.
crazy
On the road?
On the road. Yep.
Oh, no way, man. No way. Mm-mm. That's a lot of money. Holy smokes. I'd be too nervous to do that. Wouldn't you, Jim? I'd be too nervous to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Billy's thing
Man.
was, I had a friend who came down and was like kind of almost yelling at Billy for taking his guitars. He goes, well, this is what I play. Why would I, this is what I have and this is what I play. Why would I play something different? And so he
Right.
has guitars that he collects and then he has guitars that he plays. And
Right. Okay.
or, you know, they happen to be vintage. So.
Wow. Golly. Man. But that's cool, man. That's awesome. That's is there a certain what is well, let me ask you this if you're allowed to say, what is your opinion on how music is today? In your opinion, I mean, you've been out there. Has it changed a whole lot? You know, it seems like that, of course, you know, anybody can make music in their bedroom or, you know, whatever nowadays. I mean, the secret is no longer a secret anymore. Now people can produce and mix and master in their house. What is your opinion of the way that whole process is today? Did you like it better when there was actual, you went to a studio and everybody gathered together in a studio, and or is it easier now? Do you like it the way it is now, or what do you think about the whole thing?
I definitely like a lot of things about the way it is now. It's a great time to be a musician. It's not the great time to make a living as a musician, but it's absolutely a great time to be a musician. You know, even when I first started producing, you couldn't make records you couldn't make records too easy in a house. And then when you were able to make them easy in a house, you couldn't tell any record companies you were making a record in a house because they didn't want to pay you if you were making it in a house.
Right.
And then 9/11 was the shifting point. After 9/11, record companies didn't want to pay the budgets to make records. They were like, "Can't you do this in a house? Can't you do this?"
Really?
And that was the start of that. But I think it depends on the people. I was fortunate enough to meet and talk with Les Paul quite a few times, and Les always had, you know, did stuff in home studios. I mean, Les always had, he did stuff in hotel rooms. You know, they carried around a portable tape recorder.
Yes, he did.
So Les was, you know, for me when we had conversations about it, Les was fine with that. And I knew some really great engineers that had stuff in home studios. It's been a blessing for me. I always think that every artist should be able to, especially write songs, be able to record your music at home. But not every recording professionally is not for everybody. But everybody should be able to do a quick demo at home.
Right.
But the process of miking and engineering and making choices like that are not necessarily they're definitely not for everybody. And even just production. Some people just want to play and they want help in guiding where it should go. Some people don't need help guiding where it should go, but they don't want to deal with the technical aspect of trying to get it to sound right. I mean, an engineer's job is to take whatever it is they're given and make it sound as best as possible. So that's an art form. Engineering is an art form. Production is an art form. Playing is an art form. Unfortunately, sometimes people take it for granted and they go, well, I can play really great, but so that means that I can engineer and produce myself or other people. But that's not simply not true. They have to remember that each thing is an art form, and you do it and want to do each aspect of that. And it's not easy, but I love it. I also have I'm into gear, so let me see if I can make it somewhat cleaner. Blueberries, but I go old school. I have an old school board mixing console here.
Oh God, look at that.
Analog Trident Series 65. I have some mic pre's and other stuff. So I have I'm sitting in my garage I put a wood floor down and this and up, and I have it feels like a nice room. It's not the best sounding drum room, but I get some good drum sounds here, and I can also go to another studio and track live drums as if I want to. I have some cool gear. There is something that's really cool about being in a studio and tracking live. I go up to Nashville every now and then, hang out with friends and play a little bit. They still do that a lot in Nashville, and there's something cool about that. And there's also the one thing that's really cool about going to studios that I miss is meeting a lot of other people, even if you're not on the same session. People coming in, or as you leave, or you're coming in as they leave. Getting into people, stuff like that. So we kind of do it online now. Hang out and talk. What you use, what gear you're using, and why you're using it, stuff like that. So we find ways to do it. But I like it all. I do like to be able to get up and record my music whenever I want to, and then I produce lots of singer-songwriters and Native American artists and rock stuff. And I like not putting the pressure on artists where they have to nail something right away. So I don't like when people are watching the clock the whole time, that they're trying to be creative. That seems anti-creative to me. Right. Sometimes the stress of trying to get stuff done on a deadline, but I'm talking like not worrying about like what, how many more minutes do I have to nail this part?
Right. I totally understand that, my friend. Totally. We have Big Dan, the accountant. He says, Larry, he loves your guitar. Can you talk about that guitar? If there's a chance you could do that.
What?
Yes, sir. Let me present you so people can see it here. Let's see. There we go. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
So this
beautiful.
This is a Nags Severin, and it's my model that just came out in July of this year.
Beautiful guitar, man. Golly.
It's an older body, and it's a maple top, a very thick piece of maple on top. And it's got a wood pick guard. It's got Joe Nags makes these neck joints. I don't know if you can see that neck joint, but
look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're all set neck guitars. It's a maple neck with a Cocobolo fretboard.
That is wonderful, man.
I have DiMaggio Area 67s in the front neck and middle, and a DiMaggio Satch Track stacked humbucker, but it's the neck pickup of the Satch Track.
Okay.
And Joe designed, this is the Chesapeake tremolo system, so it wraps around. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a telly, so it wraps around.
Oh, yeah.
And that tremolo is screwed into that piece, not into the wood.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of there's a lot of sustain through the guitar like tellies do. And Joe Nags, are you familiar with Nags Guitars at all?
I have heard of them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have. Yes. Very nice guitars.
Yeah, they're great guitar. Joe used to work for PRS.
Yes.
Second year, I believe, and he ran the private stock program, and he designed several guitars, including the Starlet, the Mira, and the Archtop series.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a couple of questions for you, Larry, if I can ask them in the chat, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Adam EVH, one of our hosts on the show, is asking a question. He says, Larry, are you a believer in Tonewood? I would tend to think you definitely are. I know I am.
Of different woods, you mean, creating the right tone?
Yeah, I guess so. He goes, are you a believer in Tonewood?
Absolutely.
Yes.
For years for 26 years I was with Ibanez Guitars, and I have some beautiful Ibanez guitars. In the early days, most of the guitars are made out of basswood, and then I got some other guitars. I have other guitars besides the Ibanez and the Nags. I have a couple of Les Pauls, and SG Junior, and a couple other cool guitars. And I got a chance to play a mahogany guitar with a maple top, which is like a Les Paul, but it wasn't a Les Paul shape. I was like, all right, what's the sound? And then I got turned on. I think Andy Timmons turned me on to Alderwood. And so then I saw, and I have a great Ibanez Blazer that's a maple top on a swamp edge body. And which is an interesting combination. It's very bright, but I love that guitar. So that's when I started really noticing about the difference of the Tonewoods, and then finding the right pickup combination with those. So yeah, I definitely that's why I love this guitar. I mean, with the alder and the maple top, as opposed to like I have guitars that are mahogany and a maple top.
Right. That's a beautiful guitar, man.
Yes, it is.
I have another one here that is not my model. That is simply, this is a hollow body. This is a Chenna.
Oh, look at
the
that.
top one.
Oh, wow. Good. Great.
It's a full hollow body.
Beautiful.
And it's a Gibson scale. It's a great guitar. Joe makes really, when I first went to the factory, I like guitar factories. And I happened to be in Maryland working at a university teaching and doing a workshop. And I called a friend of mine who's a great guitar player, Steve Stevens, if you get a chance to check out Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Steve was endorsing and using, and there's a Steve Stevens model Nags guitar. And so I contacted Steve and said, hey, isn't that guitar company that you're working with now, aren't they in Maryland? And he said, yes. And he hooked me up, and I went down there. I love going to Guitar Factory. So I went there, and every guitar, I met Joe Nags, and he let me play every guitar that was pretty much ready to ship.
Oh, wow.
I tried not to scratch anything. And he let me play every guitar. And afterwards, I was like, all right, I'm used to going someplace and playing a bunch of guitars, and you connect one or two guitars. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
sir.
Like this is I connected with pretty much every guitar that was there. And I was like, that shows something about the builder. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Started the relationship, and it's been great.
That is so cool. Awesome. Miss Lynn says you're also a fan of the Tonewood company.
The Tonewood amp company.
Okay, Tonewood amp. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay.
Well, I think that's what she means.
Okay.
There's a company called Tonewood amp. They make a little box that you put on the back of an acoustic guitar. And
yes, sir.
It adds reverb, reverb back through the sound hole, reverb, delay, tremolo, and stuff like that. And it's a great box, especially if you have an acoustic guitar sitting on a stand in your house. You pick it up and you turn the little box on. And you don't have to go plug it into an amp or anything. You can walk around with it. It's absolutely great for just getting together with friends.
I saw you do a demo of that on Facebook Live. I don't know. Were you at the NAMM show and what was that? Where was that? The summer NAMM, was that Memphis or whatever, or Nashville? I can't remember where it was at.
Nashville, not this one.
Yeah,
last two I have. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you do a thing on Facebook Live. Actually, Miss Lynn sent me the invite, and I watched you play the Tonewood product on that, and it sounded amazing.
It's a great product.
It was amazing. And go ahead, Jim.
Hey,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, Larry, Adam EVH has a question in the chat. It's a question I was going to ask you too about what size and what type of strings do you like to use?
I've been playing the Dario strings probably since the late 70s. And I've been a Dario artist since 87, I think. Yeah, I think it was 87. I have a little issue with my hands. They're a little bit weaker now. I've been playing for a long time, and I had some other health issues with my hands. So I use 9 gauge on my anything with a Strat scale, like the Severin's, my model. And I use 10s most of the time on the Gibson scale. So this Chenna is Gibson scale, so it has 10s on it. And I did take it on the road with me a couple of years ago, and towards the end of the tour, I was playing it only a few songs. This guitar, only a few songs in the set. Most of it was with the Severin. But my hands started to feel a little bit weaker than normal, so I did put 9s on it for the rest of that tour. But there's back to 10s now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I don't play.
Thanks,
I have no string acoustics. I limit myself to playing maybe a half hour a day maximum, even if I'm recording on a steel string acoustic, because that hurts my hand. My finger gets numb here, and then there's pain that shoots up the arm. but it doesn't happen when I play nylon string. So I could play nylon string all night long.
How about that? That's amazing. Wow.
That has been that way since my third record is an acoustic record called Escape, and after I did a tour supporting that record, I played a bunch of steel string in my hand. It's been like that since then.
Wow.
But nylon string, I don't grip too hard, and I play nylon string all the time.
Wow, man. BV Ninja's in the chat. He asked this question twice, and I'm sorry, BV. I'm just now getting around to some of these questions. Larry, he has a question for you. He says, Larry, do you record / edit in the box? 2, if so, what route do you take? Universal Audio or Logic or Pro Tools?
Okay, good question. 99% of the stuff I do is in the box, but I do have if I'm tracking live drums, I'm tracking it through analog gear. Most of the stuff I'm tracking through analog gear anyway. I do use the UAD Apollo. I have the original Apollo rack mount unit, and I also have the Apollo Quad Twin that I take on the road with me if I'm producing somebody while I'm traveling. And I use Pro Tools. I've been a Pro Tools user since the late 90s. And occasionally I would break things out and come up on my board, but almost always you end up going back. I'm actually, when you said that, I'm about to do a bunch of remixes all through the board just for a separate release.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
cool.
Something. Boards are noisy, so I mean, it's an interesting thing, but I'm doing it for a series, so it should be fun.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I have a couple of yes, BV, you're welcome. I'm sorry I didn't catch it the first time.
Yeah, sorry. BV.
I have a couple of questions before I forget because I had them and they slipped and they just came back. So, Jim and myself, we're just we're working guys and we like to do music when we have time, but we take a simpler route. I mean, I don't do nothing like Pro Tools or nothing like that. I have a Zoom R8 digital multi-track recorder.
Okay.
I use that, and I also have the Beat Buddy drum pedal. You familiar with that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And I use that for the drums, and like a lot of things now, Larry, that people are doing when they live stream from their device. They plug maybe like an iRig 2 or something like that, so they stream live, and you have great audio with your video while you're playing. Because if you just try to use just a microphone doing something live, it sounds pretty horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a new product that Jim, my co-host here, actually brought to my attention day before yesterday, and it's called the Roland Go Mix, and
Yes.
it's something that's out now. And I'm looking at that. And maybe I'm real happy with my iRig 2 setup because I come straight from my, my Digitech RP1000 or whatever. Or I even use this little microcube, Larry. I know that sounds crazy.
No, microcubes are cute. Cool, man.
Look at here. Look at here, Larry. Look right there.
It's cute.
And then
I
got that, and I love the little. I can really dial up a cool Hendrix tone with that quick slap back, kind of like a Red House kind of tone, And so I'll go out of that into my Zoom R8 and come out of that into the iRig 2 and then into my phone.
Yeah.
And I can go live on YouTube and play and have a microphone sitting here, and it's all about having good audio,
Yeah, I have I have the iRig Pro.
Do you? Okay, cool. That's cool, man. It's just little gadgets like that I love messing with because my whole thing, what I love to do mainly is make videos, guitar related videos and stuff like that. And I really enjoy doing that because to me it's a whole nother creative avenue that I can express myself, so it's just fun, and being able to have good audio and clarity and stuff like that. It comes across, it's gonna catch somebody's attention rather than, when I first started, I just had the phone sitting up, in front of a thing of books or something. And I was like, hey, how y'all doing? It just, you couldn't hardly hear what I was saying. And I went back, it's like, man, that sounded horrible, but I didn't know any better. And then another thing too, that Jim, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that another thing that Jim and myself, I've known Jim for over 11 years, Larry. Can you believe that? And we've never had a chance to meet in person. Known him, and Jim would send me drum tracks. The old school way. He'd send me an old MP3 track through email, and I would put it on the recorder when I had another recorder back then, and build up the song around that.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and Jim and myself have been doing music together for like over a decade.
That's awesome.
A lot of the old stuff, the production was horrible, and that was my fault because I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just cool to jam with somebody that was 600 miles away, and it sounds like you're in the same room, But the thing about Jim and myself is if he sees a new product or a new guitar or something, he'll look at it and he'll say, "Hey Joe, you need to check this out." And then I'll look at it and then I'll end up getting it. So my wife's like, "Where'd you get that idea from?" I was like, nobody.
Oh, send it to Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead, Jim. You got any questions, man? I didn't mean to cut you off, Jim. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Larry, I was just wondering, who was your, your influences, or who did you really get into back in the day, to pull your influence and your.
It's a mixed bag because I grew up on the funk and R&B side first, and then I got into Prince. Because he was doing he was doing all this rock guitar stuff on.
Yes.
I'm like, what is that? And then I got a little bit into Santana for a minute, and then right into Van Halen. Those guys took me to that first Van Halen concert, and we were on the floor right in front of the stage.
Oh golly!
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right. So then I got what?
What'd you say, Jim?
I just said that's where I was for that show. I seen in 1980 on the floor, and I didn't hear for a couple of days.
It was loud, wasn't it?
Yeah,
loud, but it was
I'm sorry, Larry.
Anything like that, and then I got into Rush and the Police, and I remember the last year of high school, I was like jamming to Billy Squier and Zeppelin and stuff like that. In the Cars, I was into the Cars. I later on ended up touring with Rick Ocasek in the Cars, so that was
awesome, fantastic.
Standing next to Rick, just like standing next to Billy.
A lot of great music then too, man. That was my favorite decade for music because that was when I was growing up, man. A lot of great music. Just fantastic.
And then I got into and there was some local guitar players that were great. Steve Stevens, he was rocking with Billy Idol. He was.
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
Phenomenal.
And then I heard Eric Johnson, and that.
Lord.
That was a life changer.
Oh.
Moment of like, what is this?
Oh. Eric Johnson, one of my favorite guitar players, man. Fortunately I've been able to see him live once, and that was probably about. I think it was in 2007.
Okay.
2006, 2007, maybe, and it was during the Experience Hendrix tour, and they came to Atlanta, and at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. And that's from here. It's probably about 3.5, 4 hours away. 4.5 hours. And a buddy of mine, I was in a band at the time, and my buddy, the drummer, had bought me a ticket to go with him, and it was a surprise. I didn't know that because he knew I'm a big Hendrix nut, and he said, "I got you a surprise, man." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "We're going to go to the Experience Hendrix show in Atlanta." I said, "Man, I don't want to go to Atlanta." But he done got the ticket. And I said, "Oh, cool, man." We went, and I saw, a bunch of, fantastic players. Ernie Isley, Living Color, Eric Johnson, Satriani. Actually got to see Mr. Billy Cox, man. He come out and sang Red House playing his bass. Nice. And it was just, oh man, I was like a kid in a candy store, man. You couldn't stop me, man, if you tried. I was going nuts, man. All those fabulous musicians. But that was the one time I got to see Eric Johnson. I've always loved. I just wish I could come close to playing something like that. It just.
Don't we all?
I struggle so hard just to try to play some stuff, man. I've been playing. I got my first guitar on Christmas Eve of '86, Larry. I was 16 years old, and ever since I've been trying. Ever since, just do something. And but you know, it's fun. I still love it. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't still be doing it today. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all want to play like Eric Johnson.
Golly, man, he is just simply amazing. Amazing.
Absolutely. I've been lucky to open for him quite a bit, and it's still every time it would just blow me away.
Oh wow, that's phenomenal, man. That is great. There's another question for you here, Larry. Also from BV Ninja, he says, "Have you seen the Hogna Nags guitar in the flesh?"
No,
And
I have not.
Okay, you haven't seen it. Okay, he didn't know if you saw that or not.
Looks like an amazing guitar, though. So.
Well, Miss Lynn, Miss Lynn, she's too kind. She goes, "Well, thank you, Miss Lynn. I appreciate the comment. Thank you very much." But nah, it's just, you know, it is what it is. I just try to make some noise from time to time. Adam EV8 says he saw Eric Johnson open up for Satriani. It was unbelievable. Wow, I missed that tour. I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah, I don't know that tour. I know they played together in a G3 tour. But
Right. Right. Yeah, they did something else. My son, he's 27 now, and he's a big guitar player. And I remember him telling me about that. It was some years back. He was going to go to that show, but he didn't get a chance to go. And it was like just Eric Johnson opening up for Satch, and it was like just, I don't know if it was just like a standalone show or what, but yeah, it was. I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Satriani, also one of my favorite guitar influences, man. Inspirations, just unbelievable, man. So what are some of your favorite bands now, Larry? What's some of the things you like to listen to nowadays? Is there anything new, or do you kind of stick with something that's in the past? What's your musical palette like these days?
I listen to so much music, so many different types of music. Like I said, I mean, I don't produce anything like that are my records or in the guitar rock instrumental thing. I produce mostly singer songwriters and Native American artists. I produce country couple country records, R&B gospel records. So I listen to everything. I like Ed Sheeran. I like John Mayer. I like Lady Antebellum. I'm a big King's X fan.
Oh yes, yes.
King's X and the new Living Color record is ridiculous. Go see them live. They're touring right now. I think they were just in Atlanta recently, or they were just in South Carolina recently.
Oh wow, I've seen them. I have seen them live. I've been lucky enough to see them live. They're amazing.
Absolutely,
they're amazing.
I guess I like classic rock. I like I'm a huge Prince fan still.
Oh, me too. Me too. I've always loved Prince.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I listen to just a lot of singer songwriters that, I stay current on that. Because again, I produce a lot of singer songwriters. So there's some that are just I'm a big James Taylor fan. I don't know. I just listen to music. I'll put on the singer songwriter radio station on Pandora or something like that, or
right.
I listen to old school funk still.
That's awesome, man. Awesome.
I got my Van Halen playlist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Oh, I know another question. I'm sorry. It cut out on me. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. It cut out on me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said whenever songs from the first two records come on, it brings back a flood of memories, and it just hits you like right in the chest, like, oh yeah. So, nothing wrong with the latest last Van Halen stuff, but those first two records, man. Woo.
Oh, you can't beat those, man. Those are just classic. There's a movie a documentary that Jim and I like to talk about when we're on the phone sometimes from time, and I'm sure you've probably seen it. It's called Sound City. It's by Dave Grohl. Made that documentary called Sound City. Are you familiar with that documentary?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Did you ever have a chance to go to Sound City back in the heyday? No, you didn't.
No, my heydays were those days were in New York for me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is a fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic documentary by Dave. If nobody's never seen Sound City, it's worth. I think it's on Netflix, isn't it, Jim? You can see it on
Yes, it
Netflix, I
is.
believe, and it's definitely worth watching, man. Now that's one of my favorite. I'm always about music documentaries anyway. I mean, music movies, music documentaries. I'm all over that, man. I can watch that all day long.
Yeah.
Actually, Joe, I think it's on.
You ever
Go
talk
ahead, Jim.
about that movie?
I'm sorry.
You ever talk about that documentary? It Might Get Loud.
I have seen that. Yeah, actually, I have that. Yes, that's great too.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. I love the part. I tell you, Larry, what gets me is toward the end when they're all sitting around. I guess they're at Jimmy Page's place. I guess I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe they
Warehouse.
just all met at some warehouse. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And but what gets me is they're all talking and Jimmy Page stands up with that classic Les Paul and he says, I remember when I wrote a riff like this, and he starts doing, a whole lot of love. And then they all just sit there and they look and they're smiling and then they get serious. They're like, eh. And I'm like, dude, man, come on, let the inner kid in you come out. That's Jimmy freaking Page, man. It's okay to smile. It's okay to, I mean, I know I would. I'd be like, man, I was like, look at those guys trying to be cool, trying not to smile. I said, man, there ain't no way. I've been all over that,
It's Jimmy Page playing a riff that he wrote that the whole world knows. The whole world knows that riff. I don't care if you don't listen to rock ever. Rap guys know that riff,
That's what I'm saying, man. That is history in front of you. That's music history, man. Man.
Yep.
Yep.
That's great. That's a great moment. You can see
It
it in their
is.
faces.
It is absolutely. Let's see. Yes, people are saying they like the movie It Might Get Loud. People say they love the documentary Sound City, which is amazing. What got me was what I really loved about that documentary Sound City is how Dave Grohl got all the different artists in the studio and he was able to do a song with them. And they made a great soundtrack for that as well.
Yeah, he bought that board, I believe, too.
That Neve board, yes.
Yeah.
He bought that Neve board. Can you imagine all the history on that board, Larry?
Yeah.
My gosh, man. Holy smokes, dude. Man, that's just crazy. So, all right, Jim, you got anything else, man? What you want to talk about? Any of the gear you got? Any kind of guitars you got? Because you got some stuff behind you there. Larry might want to take a look at.
Well, just I got.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's my small little collection. No, I mean, I got a Wolfgang special. Of course, I got a Kramer Focus 1000, which is, my main guitar I play on. But I'm not like you, Joe. I don't have a big collection,
I don't have no big collection either. I have really like some of my guitars mainly are like made in Mexico, and there's some that are low budget models. But to me, it all depends if it feels good and it feels good to you. To me, that's the winning combination. What do you think, Larry?
Absolutely. So if it feels good, it sounds good to you and stuff like that. You ever go to someone's house and they go, oh, they got a guitar around. They go, oh, that's my beater guitar. You pick it up and it feels like home.
Yeah.
Go,
That's true.
All right, but then it's the one that they play all the time anyway. So.
Yes. It's kind of wild because I've been in that boat before where I went to something. This is years ago. You go to somebody's house and they got a guitar sitting in the corner or something like that, and you'll pick it up and it's sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's I don't know. I'm used to playing my own stuff. I guess because that's just what my hands are used to. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I mean, it's different when you go to a guitar store and stuff like that. But you always see somebody that has a guitar in the corner. You always see this on the movies too. You always got that one person's got the guitar in the corner, but he never touches it. It's just there for like decoration.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. I'm like, come on, man, don't do that. That's like having a Ferrari in the driveway, but you don't never drive it. Makes no sense. It's kind of crazy,
Larry, is there any new bands out there that really piqued your interest in you? Anything that caught your attention?
I'm trying to think. There almost always are, but I can't think of any names right now. Every now and then, there artists come along that hits you, and you go, "Oh, this is going to go far."
Right.
And like I said earlier, I like Ed Sheeran. I know a lot of people don't particularly like him, but as a singer-songwriter, I really love his stuff. And the fact that he told the world, the industry, when he was at #1, and he's used to playing alone with a looper, he said, "I'm going to go out and do stadiums." And they're like, "You can't do that. You can't. You
Right.
need to put together a band, do a stadium with a looper." And he did that for what, 2 years, and now he's got a
Yes.
band.
Yeah.
He just did it. So I like that. I remember watching The Hobbit in the movie theater, and at the end of The Hobbit, that song comes on, "I See Fire," and I was like, "Whose voice is this?" And I bought that song on my phone before the song was over. And I was
Wow.
like,
Wow.
"Yeah, yes," but I love the voice and I love the structure of the song and everything. And so that was really cool. And so I watched him, like, take the world by storm. Um, I'm trying to think of a young band. There are some real good ones. Every now and then I see something on Facebook that someone sends to me, or I just kind of glance upon it. Um, I'm just trying to think of who. I like Animals as leaders. Uh, sometimes it goes a little bit over my head, but the band is ridiculous, and so I listen to that every now and then. I like a lot of stuff that just kind of grooves, and that's why I like King's X. That stuff grooves hard. It's rock. It's heavy. I don't know if a lot of the younger viewers that like all the drop tune stuff realize that those are the grandfathers of that drop tune stuff.
Yeah. Ty Tabor,
They were doing
amazing.
that
Man.
early '80s, drop D, drop C, and it grooved like big time. So I
Oh, they
like.
were just unbelievable. I still love. I mean, I'll always love King's X, man. Especially that album, Faith, Hope, and Love. I love that album. That is just, oh my God,
Absolutely.
amazing, man. What are you talking about? You just, I don't know, man. What's that song I like? This they got these little oddities on there that really come out to me. Like, was that Mr. Wilson? Hey, Mr.
Oh,
Wilson. I was like, it's just so cool. And they got those beautiful harmonies and everything. I was just like, man, that's just crazy. We got people in the chat that want to know if you've checked out Greta Van Fleet, Larry.
no. Greta Van
They're
Fleet.
considered like they're a new band, but they're considered to sound like classic rock. And people really praise them. They said it's really good music and it's got that classic rock feel. And a lot of people really love Greta Van Fleet. Jim, I think you're familiar with them, aren't you?
Yeah, they have that Zeppelin flair.
Oh,
It's
really?
really refreshing.
Okay. I will. I'm
Yeah.
going to put that in my browser right now so I don't forget it.
I don't think you'll be
Yeah.
disappointed, Larry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got
Also, the single.
Steve Anderson. Steve Anderson says he loves Richie Kotzen's soulfulness on the guitar.
Say it again.
From the Winery Dogs. We got somebody asking about, do you like the Winery Dogs? Richie Kotzen's guitar playing in the Winery Dogs with Billy Sheehan and.
Oh, yeah. Richie's a friend of mine, and he's just a great guitar player at anything he does.
He is phenomenal.
I've
Phenomenal.
known Richie since he was 15 years old. Yeah, no, he's absolutely great. The Winery Dogs, again, they're grooving. I forgot about that band.
Yeah.
They groove. They're grooving time. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Jim, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jim. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Here's something that's off the map a little bit, Larry. What is your favorite food? What do you like to eat? What's the favorite thing that you like?
It's so funny because when I told you I was someplace and I was thinking I had plenty of time, and then I realized the time was different. I was telling him I have to leave because I have to go do this interview. And they go, "Oh, they're going to ask you what cars you use and what kind of food." I go, "No one's going to ask you."
Oh no! Oh man!
I have to text them and tell them that. I have a ton of food allergies, so there's a lot of stuff I can't eat. There's a lot of stuff I won't eat. I can't eat anything spicy.
Oh, okay.
Probably just gonna say bacon.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
I love bacon.
Somebody there, yeah. Miss Rosie actually said bacon in the chat right there. How about that? Unbelievable. Wow.
Rosie Oklahoma, Washington. Yeah, she knows all about the
Yeah.
bacon.
Thank you, Miss Rosie, for commenting. That's awesome. Yeah, my favorite thing for me is I had it last night was Mexican food. I love Mexican food and Chinese food. Those are my two top favorites. And
Okay.
oh man, I love fajitas and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, are you in the same area as Miss Lynn out there in
No,
Albuquerque,
I'm
or are
in
you somewhere else?
Alabama.
You're in
She's
Alabama.
in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Okay. Stefan, aka Sinner, is also one of the hosts of the show. He says Richie Kotzen is also a great singer. Yes, he is. He's a phenomenal singer.
Oh, I remember being at a NAMM show at an Ibanez party. We're playing, and I think it was Paul Gilbert. I can't remember. It might be Paul Gilbert, Richie, somebody else was playing. And it was an ending into the night, and they were like, all right, we should do this song. And then they were, who's going to sing it? But Richie said, I'll sing it. And everybody was like, Richie sings?
Oh yeah.
And we opened his, like, dude, if you sing like that, why are you making instrumental records?
Yeah, he's got a heck of a voice on him, man. Golly.
Absolutely. I think we were all just stunned going, what? He can sing like that?
That is amazing. Miss Rosie says, I don't know if she's talking about her favorite food or one of your favorite foods. I'm not sure, but she says popcorn. So
Yeah, I'm a popcorn. I like popcorn.
yeah, I love popcorn. Is good too. Miss Lynn says that you visit a lot, but not enough, is what Miss Lynn says.
Yeah, I used to play New Mexico for 10 years.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And I go back there and play a couple of times a year.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. Steve Anderson says, I saw Richie do Messing with the Kid in the Cabo Wabo in 1995. It was unbelievable. Wow.
I bet.
Oh, Miss Rosie said, no, not her favorite food. Your favorite food. One of them is popcorn. Okay. All right. Yeah, we have a little delay on the chat sometimes.
Okay.
So sorry, Miss Rosie. I apologize. My bad. That's awesome. BV Ninja says Ian Thornley can sing too, as well as being a Munster player. Well, how about that? It's very cool, man. Very cool. Thank you, Mr. BV. Well, is there anything? We usually go for about an hour, Larry, so I guess we're getting kind of close to that time, and I don't want to keep you too much longer, man. I know you got things to do. I know you're busy. And I want to say thank you, man, so much for taking the time to be with Jim and myself on here. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I was reading the comments too. I was just the questions.
So you can see the box. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I didn't know if you could see it or not. Technology is something else, ain't it?
It is. It's an awesome time to be a musician, I'm telling you.
Uh-oh. You see what Miss Lynn says? She wants you to sing something.
I lost it.
Miss Lynn wants you to sing something.
Oh. Not going to happen.
Yeah, if I sang something, this computer would blow up. If I tried to sing something, it would break. Oh, man. That's funny. That's great. But thank you, everybody, for being here. And, Larry, is there anything you'd like to promote or anything you'd like to talk about? Anything that, any websites or any new music, anything at all?
Let's see. My website is just my name, LarryMitchell.com. I have eight CDs that have been released, but there are 3 that are not in print. The early, the first, second, actually the 4 not in print. The first, second, and 5th CDs are not in print. But I still play several songs from those, and they're probably some of my more popular songs I do live. I still play them live. So what I'm doing is actually this month while I'm home, is I am doing 2 EPs. They probably won't come out at the same time, but they are songs that from the first couple of records, but they're redone. and they're some of the more popular ones that people keep asking for. So I'm going to do two 5-song EPs. And actually, I'm working on a deal with a company that might they sell a small product. I don't want to say it too much because I don't know if it's going to totally happen.
I understand totally.
But if you want a product at a music store, you might get a code to download the 5 songs for free or something like that. So
cool.
What I started doing is thinking about this concept. You know, there's not a lot of incentive for people to buy CDs anymore, actual physical product, because you can stream stuff. So we have to go back into making kind of cool, which is I loved about albums. You know, the liner notes and stuff, and even early CDs where you got a big booklet where you can read the
Oh yeah.
But one of the things I think I'm going to do is the versions on record and the version on CDs that you can buy and the versions that are online for streaming are probably going to be slightly different.
Very interesting.
I do that from now on. Because there are people that collect. I always like when I back in the album days, I'd go to our friend and go, "Did you get the new Prince 12-inch single?" And, I was like, I only heard the album version. Well, the 12-inch single is 18 minutes long,
Yeah.
And it's got guitar solo in it. It's got all this stuff. There's a breakdown. So I always like that about collecting records. You got the red vinyl version, which was different than the 12-inch single, which was different than the album version, which was different than the red single. So as a fan of music, I kind of dug those things. So
that is cool.
With different versions of records, there'll be a version of each song that I release now. I think that's streaming and iTunes and stuff that you could buy download. But I think the albums from now, the CDs that you can buy at live shows when you come out, I think you deserve to get something a little different. You know what I mean?
Right.
But try. Right. That's the goal from now on.
There you go. Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Let's take one last look at the chat here. Charlie S. He's joining. What's up, Charlie? Thanks for joining, man. Adam EVH says he's a huge Thornley fan as well. Miss Lynn says check out his YouTube and the Traveler video. You talking about Mr. Mitchell there, Miss Lynn, or is that somebody else? Okay.
Lynn directed that.
She did. That's awesome. That's awesome, Miss Lynn. That is phenomenal. That is really cool. Adam EVH says, thank you, Larry. He says, thank you, Joe and Jim. Miss Rosie says, yes, the Traveler video is awesome. That's cool. BV Ninja is asking, are you going to NAMM, Larry?
NAMM for over 30 years.
Okay.
In the last 4 years or 5 years, I've played in the Marriott lobby. And 2 years ago, we had about 2,000 people in the lobby, which is a little bit tight.
Wow.
That's cool.
Right. And Andy Timmons has come in and sat in 4 of the 5 years. Richie Kotzen came and sat in one year. Vernon Reed came and sat in.
Oh, wow.
Lots of great Ryan McGarvey, Wayne Livingston, lots of good guitar players. So I think that I'm pretty sure that I got picked again for this year. But I think it's been on Thursday, but I think we have a different night this year.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on Saturday night. But yeah, if you come to NAMM, please come to the show. It's in the Marriott lobby. You never know who's going to get up on stage with me and jam. My rhythm section from Seattle, Charlie Lorme and Jeff Easton play. They've always done it. We've had different bass players and drummers sit in as well. But usually at the end of the night, it's Doug Rappaport.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was blast. Actually, we had a real big blast. Joe Berger, Bobby Massano, blues guitar player. Lots of great guitar players. But this year, I'm not sure who's the guest going to be. And you never know. I mean, I always ask people, and they go, "Oh, like I asked Vernon one year, this year. I saw Vernon in the parking lot. I said, "Hey, Vernon, I'm about to do a show. You know, do you want to sit in?" He goes, "I'm tired. I don't have my guitar." And I asked quite a few people. And right before I started, Vernon was standing right in front of me. He goes, "Hey, man, can I still play?" I'm like, "Sure, you can play anytime you want."
That is amazing.
Yeah, I want to play. So I was like, that was really psyched. So you never know who's. I always ask a few guitar players to come play the last song or two with me, and some say yes, some say no. But you never know who's going to say yes or who's going to just show up. And it's usually a blast. We usually have a big party at the Marriott. Minute party. And
well, if I ever had the pleasure of meeting you, Larry, I'd just be honored to shake your hand, man, and say nice to meet you. You know.
Nice. Well, I'll be back. Like I said, I have friends. When I come through, sometimes I stop and stay at Stephen Donner's place.
Cool.
So I'll let you know coming through.
Sounds great, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Jim. Is there anything you'd like to add, my friend?
I'd just like to say thank you, Larry, for coming on and taking the time to come on and talk to us.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of fun, man. This is really a blast.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I just remembered a band because we were talking about that. I played a festival with a singer-songwriter that I produced, Katie Martin, and I remember taking a nap and waking up to this grooving band. It was a band out of Durham, I think, or North Carolina.
Yeah, Durham is North Carolina. Yes.
Carolina, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Cuervo.
Wow.
Ridiculously. I don't know if they have. I don't know how many records they have. I just remember that band, and I've seen them live and on YouTube. I should find out what kind of how many records they have out. But Lactose Cuervo, that's a new upcoming band that I thought. Yeah.
That is cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, Miss Lynn says you and I need to meet, Larry. She said y'all need to meet sometime. That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be cool, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. Yes, Miss Rosie says Larry is the best, and I agree. Really cool dude, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. Another big shout out to Miss Lynn. Thank you, Miss Lynn, for helping us out here. If it wasn't for you,
thank you, Miss Lynn,
this wouldn't be possible. So thank you so much for helping. And thank you again, Larry. Thank you, Jim Guidry, my co-host, all the way from Shreveport, Louisiana. Jim Guidry, right here on the Joe Owens Project TV channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. And folks, we'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned to this channel for more videos to come. If you want information about social media links, T-shirts, all that is available below in the description. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, God bless. Take care. Bye-bye. See ya.
All right.